Hello, podcast listeners. I pray all is well, and welcome to another episode of Pampering Myself. Can you believe it? We're just days away from March. This year is already flying by, and I'm so looking forward to hearing the birds sing and seeing the sun shine. Well, spring can't get here fast enough for me. Now, depending on where you live, the weather can be doing just about anything. But here in Michigan, there are days we can get a little taste of all four seasons in one day. Seriously. But I shouldn't complain because Old Man Winter has been good to us so far, with the exception of the ice storm causing all those power outages. But we'll survive as usual. Now, did you know that every month has a number of national and international celebrations dedicated to raising awareness and support for meaningful causes? So I decided to do a little research, and I found the topic I wanted to discuss in this episode. In recognition of World Kidney Day, which is March 12th, I decided to touch upon this topic in raising awareness of kidney disease. Kidney disease is the 9th leading cause of death. It's been reported that persons with chronic kidney disease are more likely to die from cardiovascular disease than develop kidney failure. So it's very important we learn to identify the warning signs and preventive measures. So needless to say, this is a very necessary topic of discussion, and it's near and dear to my heart. I was diagnosed at 16 years old with hypertension and have been on medication for nearly 50 years, which is one of the major risk factors of kidney disease. And thank God my kidneys are still in good health, but I definitely have some work to do to make sure they stay that way. So hopefully you'll find this information helpful for you and for someone you love. Now, according to the National Kidney Foundation, 33% of adults in the United States are at risk and don't even know it. So to find out if you are at risk, please log on to kidney.org and answer the 5 easy questions. They will immediately send you the results. And if you have any questions regarding the results or need to know what to do next, there is a toll-free number and an email address for additional information. And I encourage you to take advantage of that resource. Now, we know that not every medical illness or condition can be easily identified, which can cause a delay in treatment. And on the other hand, because of that delay in diagnosing a condition, treatment may no longer be an option. So we have to listen to our bodies and, more importantly, follow up when things don't seem right. So this information is not meant to scare you or diagnose you for kidney disease. It's simply to bring about awareness to a subject not often discussed, at least until it happens. Now, I'm not a medical provider or giving medical advice, so if you have any concerns or want more information regarding this topic, I suggest you seek help from a licensed medical provider. Now, according to the National Kidney Foundation, there are some warning signs. And having any of these warning signs doesn't necessarily mean you have kidney disease, but they should raise a red flag that there is something wrong and you need to have it checked out. So what is the function of our kidneys? Well, simple. Healthy kidneys remove waste and extra fluid from our bodies. They help make red blood cells. They keep our bones strong to work and keep the right amount of minerals in our blood. So they play a vital role in our overall health. You can live with only one kidney, the research shows, and some people are actually only born with one, which makes kidney health that much more important. So let's look at some of the warning signs. I have 10 warning signs, not necessarily in the order of importance. Number 1, dry and itchy skin, which can be a sign of mineral and bone disease that can accompany advanced kidney disease, indicating that your kidneys are no longer able to keep the right balance of minerals in the body. Number 2 is a foamy urine. Now, hopefully, when you use the bathroom, you examine your waste. That also includes urine, looking for color, and now what I've learned from my research, bubbles. When mixed with the water, excessive bubbles indicate that there is protein in the urine. And the protein is an excess of minerals that are in the kidneys. So it is said to look like a foam you see when scrambling eggs. So I'm going to have to pay attention to that next time I scramble some eggs. Number 3, when you see blood in the urine. Typically, red blood cells remain in the body when filtering waste from the blood to secrete urine. But when the kidney filters are damaged, the blood cells can start to leak out into the urine, signaling that kidney disease. Blood in the urine can be indication of tumors, kidney stones, or an infection. So you want to watch for the blood in the urine. Number 4, experiencing persistent puffiness around your eyes. Now, a lot of times we think of this as being tired or fatigued, and it could be that, but you want to particularly watch if it happens all the time, because now that we know that protein in the urine is an early sign that kidney failures or kidney filters can cause protein to leak in the urine, puffiness around your eyes can also be the result of that protein leak. Number 5, your muscles are cramping. That means the electrolyte imbalances can result from the impaired kidney function. And that could be from low calcium levels and poorly controlled phosphorus may contribute to muscle cramping. I can recall not too long ago, oh my goodness, I had what I thought was a Charlie horse, and it hurt so bad. It was the second time it had happened. And okay, so I'm not 100% on the water thing. I try to do my best because I know how vital that is. But this particular day when I had experienced what I call the Charlie horse, my husband said, "You drink enough water?" And I said, "Yeah, I drink water." And then I got to thinking, no, I have really been slacking in my water. So I immediately started consuming water, and it hasn't happened again. So again, how important is that water? So number 6, your ankles and feet are swollen. A decrease in kidney function can lead to sodium retention, and this can cause swelling in your feet and ankles. And swelling in the lower extremities can also be a sign of heart disease, liver disease, and chronic leg vein problems. So you want to be careful with that as well. And with me having hypertension, I know if I consume things that are high in sodium, that will cause my ankles to swell. So there are different reasons why it's so important to pay attention to everything. It could not even have anything to do with one, but with the other. Number 7, you're more tired and have less energy or having trouble concentrating. A severe decrease in kidney function can lead to a buildup of toxins and impurities in the blood. And this can cause people to feel tired and weak and make it hard to concentrate, which is another complication of kidney disease, which can also be a cause of anemia. So watch that. Number 8, you're having trouble sleeping. Now, when the kidney isn't filtering properly, The toxins stay in the blood rather than leaving the body through our urine. That's how we get rid of all the poisons and toxins, etc. And so this makes it difficult to sleep. There's also a link between obesity and chronic kidney disease, and sleep apnea is more common in those with chronic kidney disease compared to the general population. So that could be a cause for not being able to sleep. Number 8, you feel the need to urinate more often. So if you feel the need, especially at night, this can be a sign of kidney disease. When the kidneys filters are damaged, it can cause an increase in the urge to urinate. Sometimes this can also be a sign of a urinary infection or in men and a large prostate. So you want to encourage our men especially because they don't often like to go to the doctor. Number 9, you have a poor appetite. Well, this is a very general symptom, but a buildup of toxins results when reduced kidney function can be one of the causes. Number 10, eating too much protein. Oh my goodness. I think about this one in particular when I went to a well-known weight loss clinic some years ago. The cleansing phase, as they call it, was to eat as much beef as you possibly could. I can't explain to you how much beef I ate the very first time I went to that clinic on a cleansing. It was a 3-day cleansing. I probably ate about, in the 3 days, because it was easy to eat hamburger patties. So I probably ate somewhere like 20 hamburgers at least in the 3-day time period. Now, to tell you the truth, it helped prepare my body for weight loss, and it worked. But oh my goodness, when I think about now what it must have done to my system, not really knowing and being educated and taking the word of someone else, which is supposed to be a medical provider. These were supposed to be people, doctors and healthcare professionals that were helping you lose weight. And so when you think about what their motive was, or their concerns, their goal was to get me to lose weight. But at what cost? So when we think about these quick fix, these weight loss clinics, these places where we put our health into their hands, we really have to think about and know what they are doing to our bodies, because it's really important. So you want to make sure that before you seek any services for different things that you really know, do your own due diligence and check it out. So that was just 10 signs, warning signs that you could potentially have kidney disease. And if nothing else, red flags that you want to be concerned about and to investigate. Certainly there are others. So for more information, I recommend and encourage you to speak to your healthcare provider or contact the Kidney Foundation. They have a lot of resources and information just for your own sake to look into. So certainly, as there are always warning signs and things that help us, we always like to provide some information in how to maintain or hopefully to prevent. So I have identified 10 resources or things that we might want to consider to minimize or avoid kidney disease as recommendations by the Kidney Foundation. And number 1, of course, as I talked about before, that water. So stay hydrated. The medical community states that we should drink at least 8 cups or 64 ounces of water a day, because drinking Enough water and other fluids can help keep our kidneys function properly. Now, I have to admit, consuming that much water on a daily basis has always been a challenge. So my goal is to drink at least 48 ounces of water by 3 o'clock p.m. Now, that's 3 16-ounce bottles of water. And then I pray that I get in the other 16 ounces at least 2 hours before bedtime. And since my day generally starts between 5 and 7 a.m., it's not impossible as long as I stay on task. And I try to cut my water off an hour or so before bedtime so I don't have to get up at night. Now, if you're like me, you need to find some tricks that will help you get all that water down. Because unlike my daughter, which can drink a gallon of water with no problem, I need to add something to it. It either has to be ice cold or I need to add some flavoring to it. Now, before you consider adding something to it, you don't want to cause one problem trying to fix another. Now, in the past, I used Crystal Light, and it would give it that, just to knock that hard water flavor off until I got sick of the taste of Crystal Light, and then it gave me heartburn. So eventually I was able to just drink water, but it does have to be cold. There's some benefits to cold, there's some benefits to warm. It's a personal preference. And for me right now, I'm in the cold state. I have been warm, but now I drink cold and can get in at least 48. The second thing that you can do is to manage your blood sugar. So if you have diabetes or are pre-diabetic, you definitely want to watch that sugar intake. So adding those sweeteners to your water really is a no-no. It's a good idea if you learn how to read labels so you can minimize your sugar intake, because some of the foods are loaded with sugar. And the word sugar is hidden in so many words like dextrose, fructose, you name it. Somewhere I read there are exactly 56 names for the word sugar. Why can't they just call it sugar instead of hiding it? I don't know. That might be a ploy for those people who are sugar conscious to throw you off. But in any case, learning how to read labels is so important because it will help you to avoid some of those pitfalls. Number 3 is to manage your blood pressure. High blood pressure can also damage the kidney, so it's important to keep blood pressure under control. And you can do that through diet, exercise, and medication if necessary. Now, I told you before I was diagnosed with high blood pressure when I was 16 years old, and I have been on medication faithfully since I was 19. Now, because I've been on medication for years, not only do I have annual lab work, but I also have a kidney ultrasound because I have small spots on both of my kidneys. And over the past 5 years, they haven't grown or caused any concerns at this point. But the tests are precautionary. So it's suggested to get regular kidney function tests if you've had risk factors for kidney disease, such as diabetes or high blood pressure, which are two of the main things. Number 4, eat a healthy diet low in sodium, saturated fats and trans fats and added sugars. This is where reading those labels come into play. Every now and then I forget. So it's easy to pick up a frozen meal for lunch and pop it in the microwave and go on about my business. So one day, while I was waiting on this frozen meal to warm up in the microwave, I looked at the box and it shocked me. And it should not have, because I've read this box before. But it was 1,040 milligrams of sodium in one meal. Oh my goodness. The American Heart Association recommends not more than 2,300 a day. And they are now trying to move towards their recommendation to 1,500 a day for most adults. So if you have high blood pressure like me, that's way too much. Imagine that almost once the recommendation gets down to 1,500, I have consumed in that small amount, that small portion. If you've ever seen one of those small frozen meals of lasagna, in one serving meal, I have consumed 3/4 of my daily sodium intake. And sodium is in just about everything that you eat. You can't avoid it. So I'm steadily packing on sodium, which is detrimental to my health. So I have to stop that. Number 5, and then there's exercise. So it's been said, regular exercise can help manage our blood pressure and diabetes, which again are the 2 risk factors for kidney disease. I get it. So why is it so hard? Well, maybe if they change that word. I think the word exercise got a bad rap. In any case, walking has become my choice of exercise. Well, that's when my gout and arthritis are under control. So whatever works for you, let's get moving. Seriously, you have to move. Number 6, avoid over-the-counter painkillers. Overuse of those non-steroid anti-inflammatory drugs such as ibuprofen can damage the kidneys. So it's important to use these drugs only as directed and for a short period of time. And I may add, if absolutely necessary. Sometimes we take them to continue, or we take them or continue to take them as a preventive. But in the long run, it could do more harm than good. And I'm going to go back to a story again where I had an injection in my knee just before Thanksgiving. Arthritis in my knee, so I got a steroid shot. And the orthopedic surgeon gave me a prescription for a painkiller. And he told me to take it for 30 days. Now, it's a non-steroid anti-inflammatory drug. And I questioned him. I said, do I need to take this for 30 days? I'm asking the question because I came in there because I wanted the pain to immediately stop. So if the injection is going to stop the pain, why do I need to take this pill for 30 days? And he said, yes, it'll keep down the inflammation. So I left the office, and surely in about 10 or 15 minutes the most, that pain was gone. I didn't see the purpose of taking the pill. I did take it that day, and it says I can take it up to 3 times a day. I only took it once, and I figured I'm going to wait for the pain. Because this seems like, when I read, of course, all the things it could do, it just seemed like it was an unnecessary. And for 30 days, so no. I only use that pill when absolutely necessary, because you can eat the lining of your stomach up, and those medications just aren't good for you if they are not necessary. Number 7, manage stress. Chronic stress can lead to high blood pressure and other health problems that can cause the kidney. So finding healthy ways to manage stress is important for kidney health. And we know that stress affects any and everything, and it can cause any and everything, temporarily and long term. So managing stress is definitely something we have to learn to do. Number 8, combine these to quit smoking or limit your alcohol consumption, because smoking can damage the blood vessels and reduce the blood flow to the kidneys. So quit smoking is important for kidney health, and certainly to not drink too much alcohol, because it can lead to health problems. And finally, number 10, avoid excessive protein intake. Eating too much protein can cause an increase in waste products that need to be filtered by the kidneys, potentially putting stress on them. So, I shared that story about going to that weight loss clinic years ago, eating all of that beef, which is protein, and what it could have been doing and what they continue to do to people's health. Now, I haven't been back to that clinic in some years, and I think when I went back, probably about 7 years ago, they had changed the way they do things. Beef was not the only source of protein. I believe they allowed you at that time to do chicken. I can't tell you what the process is now. I would hope that they have changed, because it has definitely been proven to be unhealthy. So in summary, just about everything we do affects our body, from the foods we eat, the liquids we consume, our sleeping habits, how we manage stress and pain, to the bad habits we pick up can wreak havoc on our bodies, not to mention genetics. Now, as I'm searching for the right words to end this podcast, the first thing that comes to mind is, when you know better, you do better. I know I don't want to end up on dialysis or need a kidney transplant, so this has definitely been an eye-opener for me. And I know people that have had to do both, and it wasn't pleasant to watch, and I'm sure for them it wasn't a pleasant experience. So in recognition of International Women's Day, which is March the 8th, I encourage you to take some time out and focus on your health and well-being. Schedule those important annual appointments. Sometimes we get so busy and caught up in our daily lives, before you know it, time has gone by. So I like to leave you with this quote by Dennis Waitley. Time and health are two precious assets that we don't recognize and appreciate until they have been depleted. Until next time, don't forget to pamper yourself. Goodbye.